And welcome to this edition of the Native News Update on this Thursday, March 22nd. I'm your host once again for today's program, Paul DeMain, and many of the stories we read here can be found at our website at IndianCountryNews.com. So let's get into it. The days of forcing Native students to attend boarding schools may be long gone, but unfortunately, some Native students still deal with cultural insensitivity, uncertainty, and a potential loss of cultural identity as they move out of the reservation's high schools to attend college far from home. That was one of the main points to come out of the student-driven panel talk, Bridging Two Worlds, Preparing for College Beyond the Reservation while Honoring Navajo Culture and Practice. The event, held recently on the campus of the Institute of American Indian Arts, was part of the 19th Annual Navajo Studies Conference. The 5 teen panelists, Lynette Hardy, Kayleen Haskey, Rebecca Heidenrich, MacArthur Jones, and Brooke Overturf, are all Navajo students at St. Michael's Indian School near Window Rock, Arizona, just over the border from New Mexico. This Catholic school, which opened in 1902, serves about 340 students in grades K through 12 and has a graduation rate of about 95%, according to Ernie Yazzie, board chairman for the school. 3 of the 5 Navajo student panelists are about to graduate high school and start college. The other 2 are juniors. All 5 expressed their concerns regarding leaving home and adjusting to non-native life. Several have already journeyed out on trips to Europe or college preparation college programs. Several told stories handed down to them from their elders of experienced cultural shock and mistreatment in the boarding schools of the past. Federal wildlife officials are extending the public comment period on their proposal to create a critical habitat in northern Idaho for woodland caribou. The U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service said March 20th it would extend the comment period another 60 days. The proposal has caused frustration and anger by those who believe creating the special habitat could hurt business and recreation in the region. The caribou range from North Idaho and northeastern Washington into British Columbia. They are considered an endangered species. Federal biologists want to designate more than 375,000 acres of high-elevation critical caribou habitat in the Selkirk Mountains. Agency officials say requests from Idaho Governor C.L. Butch Otter, local governments, and tribal officials prompted the decision to reopen the public comment deadline until May 21st. The history detectives of PBS are slated to visit New Mexico for an episode about Kit Carson's family members written in an old biography. The Santa Fe New Mexican reports that sociologist Takufu Zuberi, host for the episode, was in Santa Fe this week to interview a Kit Carson descendant and author of last year's Kit Carson, The Life of an American Border Man. But the history detective won't identify the Carson descendant living in Santa Fe, New Mexico. Born in Kentucky in 1809, Kit Carson was a teamster on the Santa Fe Trail, then a trapper in the Rocky Mountains. He married 2 American Native women before settling in Taos, and with his 3rd wife, Josephine Germillo, whose sister married New Mexico's territorial governor, Charles Bent. A Billings group has joined those seeking the resignation of U.S. District Judge Richard Seabold over an email he forwarded that included a racist joke involving bestiality and President Barack Obama's mother. Seabold apologized after acknowledging he forwarded the email to friends from his office computer during February. He also invited a review of his conduct by the 9th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals. That has not satisfied critics calling for his resignation, including the anti-racism group Not in Our Town, the legislature of the Crow Tribe, and the good governance group Common Cause also have called for Seabold to step down. The Little Traverse Band of Odawa Tribal Governing Council is considering a constitutional amendment that would recognize same-sex marriages. The Petoskey News Review in Michigan and WPBN-TV report the tribe would be the first in Michigan and of several tribes nationwide to legalize gay marriages if the amendment was adopted. Most of about 4,000 people in the tribe live in Michigan's northern Lower Peninsula. If the measure is approved, at least one of the marriage partners would have to be a member of the tribe. The idea was initially encouraged by 2 tribal citizens in a letter to the tribal council urging consideration of an amendment. The proposal currently is in a public comment status. The current tribal constitution defines marriage as between one man and one woman. The Internal Revenue Service is moving to seize 23 properties, including vacation homes in Lake Tahoe and Maui, as part of an investigation into fraudulent billing practices against a casino operating tribe in Northern California. Complaints filed in federal court in Sacramento, California, and made public March 21st as a developer, the administrator of the United Auburn Indian Community, and a tribal quality control contractor conspired to bilk the tribe out of more than $18 million by inflating bills. The bills were related to a construction project that included new headquarters for the tribe, which operates Thunder Valley Casino in Lincoln, California. Prosecutors say the contractor would kick back part of his inflated payments to the tribal employees. The IRS says it's targeting properties purchased with payments for the inflated bills. And remember that live broadcast on IndianCountryTV.com this Saturday, March 24th at 5 p.m.-ish of Wisconsin's governor's candidates at the Lakudere Ojibwe Community College, around 5 o'clock. And that is another roundup of news from Indian Country on this edition of the Native News Update. We want to say thank you for joining with us, and yes, come back again soon.